What's happening, guys? It's your boy Cdwoods here, and today we're gonna be going over what my predictions are for the Eastern Conference standings, baby. I think it's time to do some predictions for the NBA season. Before we get into the video, I just want to let you know that I have a new channel banner done from a guy named Simple Life Reviewer Sebastian. He has a lot of awesome stuff on his channel. So I'm gonna leave the link down in the description for you to check his channel out. I definitely think you should check this guy out. Definitely check him out. I think I'm recommending him to y'all, so I'm definitely think you should do that. And if you're new and at any point enjoy the content, go ahead and subscribe for more weekly content. And like I said, let's just get right into it. Alright, so number 8, I have the New York Knicks. Now hold up, Knicks fans, hold up. I ain't saying your team ain't good. Well, I don't think it's on par with Cleveland, Toronto, Boston, or the Pacers. I do think it is, a 5 through 8 team, and a pretty good team. But with the East getting more competitive this year, and the simple fact it's going to take some time for your lineup to get used to each other, I don't think it's going to work out immediately, and then you'll sneak it to the playoffs during the end and give the Cavs a 5-game series. Alright, so number 7, I have the Charlotte Hornets. They've lost some pieces during the offseason, so I think they got weaker, and the fact is the East is getting stronger. So they got some talent on this team. I think they're just going to take a step back in the conference this year from the losing some pieces in free agency, and just because the East is getting better in general. Alright, so number 6 now, I have the Atlanta Hawks. I think they're a good team. I still think they have one of the best head coaches in the Eastern Conference. Not the best. Mike Budenholzer is one of the top 3, I would say, though. Paul Millsap is an all-star type guy. Not a superstar, but I mean, he's pretty good at power forward. Dwight Howard was a superstar, and he's looking to get back into his usual offensive self, and he's a great defender, so if he goes back to his normal self, that would be a huge pickup. And just the rest of the lineup, Dennis Schroeder, I mean, depending on how he plays, I do think it would be a pretty good lineup. Alright, and number 5 now, I have the Detroit Pistons. They were number 8 last year in the standings, narrowly sneaking into the playoffs and getting swept by the Cavs, but this year they're going to be a better team. Even though Reggie Jackson's missing a few weeks, I do think Andre Drummond is just going to be better this year again, so that's definitely going to help. And I mean, overall, this team is just young and talented, so I think they're going to take a step up just because they didn't really lose anything important. So I do think they have stuff to build around. It's going to be a good season for the Detroit Pistons. Hopefully more to come from this young franchise. Alright, number 4, I have the Indiana Pacers. They were 7th last year and took Toronto to a Game 7 where the second-seeded Raptors eventually beat them out. They had probably the second best player in the Eastern Conference in Paul George. They added Thaddeus Young. I don't get the Jeff Teague and George Hill. I think George Hill is a better point guard. But, I guess it doesn't matter. They got Jeff Teague. He's still a good point guard. They still got Monte Ellis, and they got Al Jefferson and Miles Turner. Probably sends the Cavs to a 6-game series. Honestly, I do think that Paul George can keep up with LeBron and just match up with them. Worrying about Jeff Teague with Kyrie, though, and Thaddeus Young with Kevin Love, and the Cavs should be just too strong for the Pacers to keep up with. Alright, and the third is the Boston Celtics. This team is obviously one of the better teams in the East, but the only thing I have with them and not putting them higher than the Raptors or the Cavs is, while they do have Isaiah Thomas and Al Horford, you're still missing that final piece that puts you over the top. And simply with the loss of Evan Turner also as a ball handler, it's going to put a real lot of pressure on Isaiah Thomas to pretty much be what LeBron was to the Cavs in the early years. And if he goes down or isn't playing good, this team is simply not going to do good. But other than that, this is still one of the most talented and young franchises. I do think they're a good defensive team, but offensively they're probably going to get stagnant at some points. But, good team, and, it's going to be a fun series to watch during the Raptors and the Celtics. More than likely it's going to happen, but I do think the Raptors will pull it out in 6 or 7 games. And, of course, at the second seed, I have the Toronto Raptors. As we all know, last season was a 56 26 season where they went to the Eastern Conference Finals and won 2 games against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who ended up winning the not conference championship, the NBA championship over the 73-9 Warriors. So by that calculations, they are only 1 game behind the record-breaking Warriors. I do think this team is actually even better than they were last year, even with the loss of Biyombo. I mean, they added 2 rookies, one being a lottery center, and they also added Jared Sullinger from the Celtics, who was an offensive player who can also help a bit on defense. While people might say he gets fast and slow, Lowry's got that Lowry diet, so I think this year is going to be his year. And besides, it's a contract year for him anyway. He's got to play good, or otherwise he's not going to get a good contract next year. And with Toronto, since Bismack got paid big money, you know he's going to want that big money, so he's going to be playing really good this year. Kyle Lowry has entered the superstardom in the NBA, being the 4th best point guard in the NBA. Beyond what any of y'all say, he is simply the 4th best point guard. He shot better than Damian Lillard last season. I don't know what Kyrie's numbers were, but Kyrie has LeBron, so you can't really judge a first option and a second option. Don't think that works truly well. So since Kyle Lowry is leading his team and LeBron is leading the Cavs, I can't really put Kyle Lowry behind Kyrie. But we're going to save that for another video. And, you know, DeRozan could be the best shooting guard simply because Klay Thompson played 60% as a small forward last year. James Harden is moving to point guard, and Jimmy Butler could be moving to small forward depending on where they decide to play Wade. So, I mean, Jimmy Butler could become a small forward, and that leaves DeRozan as the best pure shooting guard in the NBA. But I'm not talking about this team. Where are my predictions? Again, I think it's 54-28 team. And for my number 1 spot, I have the Brooklyn Nets. I can't even say that with a straight face. Of course, it's the Cleveland Cavaliers. Oh my gosh. All these Brooklyn Nets fans were getting so happy. And all these Cavaliers fans were about to say, what? But yes, I do have the Cleveland Cavaliers. They just signed J.R. Smith. Even though they lost Dellavedova and Mo Williams, I do think they're still going to be the first seed just because of LeBron. I have them doing a 60-22 season, but they ended up getting taken down in 7 games by the Toronto Raptors. Let's face it, the Toronto Raptors were top 4 players were all injured after huge series with the Pacers and the Heat. The East is better this year, so the Cavs should have some trouble getting to it. And if I'm not saying anyone gets hurt, but I'm saying if, you know, they're just not 100% fully rested, makes it a lot more even series. And if JV or none of the other players go down, Toronto is going to pull it off, especially since we don't have Bismack Biyombo. Before y'all get confused, Bismack doesn't produce offensively. This made it where they could double team us easily while leaving him open because he's not going to do anything offensively, which made it just a lot easier for them to double team. But now with Jared Sullinger, there is offensive balance throughout the thing, and he's honestly not a bad defender. Obviously he's not going to be as great as Bismack Biyombo, but we have 2 capable centers vying for that backup role. None of them are going to be on Biyombo, of course, but one of them is going to be at least really good. I think the explosion that JV is about to have this season is just going to overtake Tristan Thompson, and without Tristan Thompson, I don't think the Cavs are going to beat him. Even though they have J.R. Smith back, which I was counting him not doing, I just don't think that's going to simply be enough for them to take the Toronto Raptors. So yeah, those are my Eastern Conference predictions. So obviously there's going to be some hate, but I mean, we have no idea what's going to happen this season. Anyway guys, my Western Conference predictions should be going around sometime this week, where I give just an in-depth review of how the Warriors aren't going to even make the playoffs. Haha, I'm kidding. But yeah, stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, as always, and I will see you guys and gals on the court.